Music Scene Live.
This is a song, it's a story more or less. We used to play out on the streets over in Dallas 30 years ago, kind of like Bon Lim and Jefferson, down Deep Elm, all those guys used to do. I mean, yeah, I've been writing since I was a kid, you know, and so it's like, but I just played bass and I didn't really tell anybody I wrote songs because they didn't want to hear them anyhow. You're a bass player. so but these cats would come out, and so to hear us play out on the street corner, and just a bunch of characters, just like down here, the homeless cats, you know, all got nicknames and whatever issues they have. You know, if you sit down and really talk to them, you know, you'll find out. There's an old guy we talked to the other day, was hanging at Sons of Herman, old John Tucker, you know, sit down, and it was his bench, you know, out front of the place, and so anyhow, sit down and just talk to him and find out what his story was. And he said back when he was a mason by trade, a great line for a song. So I think a lot of songs will write themselves, like James was talking earlier. It's just songwriting. It's just kind of like if you listen and you just observe, they kind of write themselves. You just have to hone in on it and find the right colors and the right tones and the voicing to make it compatible with each other.
Guthrie Kennard. Well, why don't you take us back to some more of your original music with your own voice?
Thank you, Allison. On the corner hangs a poet, no prophet, Bible, words of faith. A wounded victim of fallen grace, baptized in the salvation of the streets. In the alley sleeps Napoleon, on a back seat of an old burnout car. A war hero, a purple heart, hiked his boots down at Lucky's pawn shop. Queen Mary, she believes she once was, sits on a corner waiting for a bus. And Julio the cat, he's chewing bones, shot to rat trying to escape death row. Peg-legged Slim, he's begging for a limb from a one-handed blind man with a tin cup full of change. And Chicken House Man swears he's clean, but his hands are filthy and his old ball cap stained. Little brother, he's running from the law, robbed a store, stole a car. And little sister, she got busted downtown late last night, caught red-handed in the alley up to now. And in the darkness stands the ghost of the rider, leaning up against the lamppost, throwing up his soul. And on the corner hangs the poet, no private Bible was of faith. Well, thank you. Appreciate that. Just this little story. Thank you. All right, I was reading this songwriter back in Ireland back in the day, John Casey Keaton. I can't think of his name. He's a poet from Ireland, and he wrote all these songs. And I didn't realize this till I was talking to an English guy the other day. He wrote a song, Rising of the Moon, way back when the government would let all the Irish people starve to death and everything. And anyhow, I didn't know till the other day it was the IRA theme song today. So anyhow, I decided to write this song in honor of this poet and songwriter. Living in these times are hard. Living in these times are hard. Hard living in these days they are. Living in these times are hard. Unwed mothers seek shelter. The colder nights have come and gone. An old man, he talks about the weather and places where only dreams can go. Living in these times are hard. Living in these times are hard. Hard living in these days they are. Living in these times are hard. The walls of our homes no longer protect us from the darkness that has fallen over this land. Our children, they go hungry, evicted from the grace of God upon thee. Living in these times are hard. Living in these times are hard. Are living in these days they are. Living in these times are. Our leaders are no longer trusted servants. Our voices, they go unheard. We, the people, gather in the valley. Freedom upon the rising of the moon. Living in these times are. living in these towns of hard. Hard living in these days they are. Living in these towns of hard. Living in these times are hard. Living in these times are hard. Hard living in these days they are. Living in these times are hard. Well, thank you so much. I appreciate that.
Guthrie Kennard, I said that you have a real rootsy, bluesy, groovy feel to your music, and it really is your own voice that you bring out through your music. And that last song really proved that to me, because that song was really a throwback to some of the greatest kinds of sounds that came out of the 60s and the folk movement back then. Right. So you do blend several different styles and genres in your music, but your voice is always true and it's always there. Stone, do you have any questions for Guthrie here?
How has the Fort Worth area changed since, in the past 30 years? What's the scene like today in the context of history?
There's some great musicians out of Fort Worth as well as Dallas. And I mean, it's changed a lot. It's almost it's kind of cool now, because I think Fort Worth is kind of like the early Austin now. Instead of, all the corporations went down to Austin and bought all the mom and pop shops out and everything. And Fort Worth still has a real art feel to it, and music and stuff, and it's growing. And not only that, it's with artists that are writing their own songs and stuff. And I think more so in Fort Worth and Dallas. Really, you don't get that too much over in Dallas. And of course, now I think it's starting to grow, and I think, hopefully it doesn't get to the point like Austin's gotten, where everybody just comes in and washes everything out here in Fort Worth. But there are really some great young people. And a lot of great people are from Fort Worth in this area. You got Dole Bramhall, who just passed away, senior. You sleep down the street over here. Great songwriter, great songs. Of course, Delbert McClinton, and on and on and on and on. And so I think there's just something kind of in the water over here in Fort Worth. It's, I don't know, there's just something here. And if you notice, a lot of people that moved to Austin to really make that happen are from Dallas and Fort Worth, like the Vaughn brothers, and many other people, the Bramhalls. And so, and then you find them after moving back, or, close to this area and stuff. So I don't know. Fort Worth has just always been just cool,
When we first came up with the concept for this radio show, it was because of Fort Worth and the music scene that we saw here when we first came here. I'm absolutely blown away by the talent of the singers and songwriters who are here in Fort Worth right now, both the younger artists and then the more seasoned artists. And we're also so impressed with how the two sides really come together and support each other, and it's a real support. And they learn from the other artists who are also out there pounding the pavement and singing at the clubs out there. And they can collaborate, too, on songs together.
They do. There's a lot of great young songwriters, here. And the thing is, not only, I'm not speaking for James, but I'm speaking for myself. I think number one, I think they're in awe that we're still doing this and, above ground. And and they've been gravitating to us because they do have the respect or we have gained their respect somehow through what we have done in our own writings and stuff. And it's nice to see young people come up to you and appreciate your work, because there's a lot of there's so much fluff out there, and it's really cool that young people want to play real music with real instruments and really hone in and try to really hone in on that craft of songwriting and art.
I have always believed the most powerful music comes from the one person with the one voice and the one instrument on stage that always carries an audience, and it takes you to another place as an audience member and a listener to an artist. You don't need backup and a big band to make your voice and your talent heard clearly and loudly.
No, I'm a true believer with a song. I mean, just like sitting here, you know, it's just like writing a song. I mean, this is, I mean, even though I'm forgetting stuff today a little bit, but this is it. And I think the song can stay, when the song stands on its own, then you can add all that stuff.
Guthrie Kennard, we're going to go out to the audience and see if we have any comments or questions for you from them about what they just heard and your music you brought to us today on Music Scene Live.
What's a blues man from the East Coast doing in Texas?
I was born in the backseat of a Greyhound bus. and it was headed west, and they just threw me out. I ran out of money.
Guthrie Kennard, thank you for bringing your gift of music on to Music Scene Live and to our listeners today. And I think this is the best time to have you take us out of this show with one more of your fantastic bluesy, rootsy style songs.
All right, this is for you, and thank you for having me and all y'all. This is called Catfish Fishing. 3 days of rain, mud between my toes, the first day of sun, I cut me a cane pole. I'm going catfish fishing, I'm going catfish fishing. A catfish I'm fishing, a catfish fishing. Lily Mae's in the kitchen, making something out of nothing, snapping beans and fixing, while she keeps the whiskey hidden. I'm going catfish fishing, I'm going catfish fishing, a catfish I'm fishing, a catfish fishing. Stink bait on my hook, I ain't had no luck. Way down in the bottom, while the river is up, I'm going catfish fishing, I'm going catfish fishing, a catfish I'm fishing, a catfish fishing. I'm going catfish fishing, I'm going catfish fishing, a catfish I'm fishing, a catfish fishing. Well, thank you so much.
Guthrie Kennard, thank you again for coming on to Music Scene Live today and bringing your professionalism and your talent onto this stage and out to our listeners. You've been listening to Music Scene Live. On today's show, we brought you two incredible singer-songwriters who've been around the Fort Worth area performing and writing songs for more than 40 years. Guthrie Kennard and James Michael Taylor, both who brought a unique approach to American folk and roots music.
I was really impressed by both James Michael Taylor and Guthrie Kennard. James Michael Taylor had a poetic, folky, and very insightful and descriptive way about his lyrics. And Guthrie Kennard was just an aggressive blues style, but also pulled back at moments and really made me understand why both artists were just so respected in this field here in Fort Worth.
Yes, and to watch them perform up on that stage and to hear their voices with those lyrics that they both wrote really proves the professionalism of the artists that are here in Fort Worth and creating this incredible music scene. We'd like to give a special warm thank you to our host venue today, the Thirsty Armadillo, located in the historic Fort Worth Stockyards. And do remember, we'll be here every Saturday, 1:30 to 3:30 p.m., recording more Music Scene Live shows. So come out and be a part of the Music Scene Live experience. I'm Allison.
And I'm Stone.
Till next time, peace and music.